Hi everyone, this is Vivian. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we talked about what type of calligraphy pen to write what styles of calligraphy, and today we're going to talk more specifically about brush pen. Ta-da! So even after you decided to learn modern calligraphy with brush pens, there are still different options out there and it can be confusing. So in this video, I'm going to show you my recommendations and also other options out there, and I'm also going to do a comparison with different types of markers and brush pens, so you might already have those around. And once you have picked the right pen, you also need to pick the right type of paper. And just as important is that you also need a guide sheet to help you improve and practice on your calligraphy, so I'll be going over that as well. When it comes to brush pens, there are many different colors and size and different brands, and even the price can vary by a lot, but I would say they all pretty much do the same job. If you know how to write calligraphy in one pen, you're pretty much good with every other pen. So if you don't already have one, I recommend picking up a Tombow Fudenosuke. The black pen comes with two types of nib, so the blue barrel pen has a harder tip and the green barrel pen has a soft tip. For paper, you will want to use some sort of translucent paper, such as tracing paper. It's very cheap and affordable. If you want something a little bit nicer, you can go with vellum paper. It's a little sturdier. And also layout paper is also a good choice. Sometimes it's also called marker paper. These papers are translucent, so you can lay on top of a guide sheet. That will help you a lot while you're practicing. That leads us to talk about guide sheets. Guide sheets are very, very important when it comes to practicing the consistency you want in calligraphy. So with a guide sheet, you will have a baseline. The X height is the distance between the baseline to the waistline, and that would determine the size of your letter. So for me, I like to use a 1/4 inch X height. Sometimes I also use a 0.2 inch X height. And then I use a ratio of 2.5 to 2 to 2.5 to determine the ascender and the descender. In modern calligraphy, there's not really a strict rules on what size and what angle your slant should be, but I think as long as you're consistent in your writing, you're good. And here I'm going to demonstrate first using a Fudenosuke hard tip, writing with a 1/4 inch X height in 75-degree letter slant. So I'm going to be switching between the hard tip pen and the soft tip pen, as well as different X height and different letter slant, and later on we can compare the differences. And I would like to tell you a little story from my childhood. When I was in grade school, we needed to practice Chinese calligraphy, and my writing was pretty lousy, so I wanted to get a new pen, a better pen. And I was asking my mom that I need this very expensive brush pen so I can write amazing Chinese calligraphy. And my sister overheard this conversation, so she walked over and then she said to me, "There is no magic brush that can compensate your lack of practice." Obviously, I was not happy back then, but now that I think about it, there's truth to that. Even if somebody gave me a grand piano from Steinway, I would not be able to play well because I don't practice that much. So same thing with calligraphy. You really don't need a super fancy pen. You just need the pen that you have right now. And if you don't have one, get a simple brush pen like this Tombow Fudenosuke. Then just keep on practicing. You'll be writing amazingly if you put in the time. So here we have the comparison between the two tips. As you can see, for the soft tips, you can produce the more obvious thick and thin strokes, so the writing can be more energetic in my opinion. If that's the look you're going for, then that will be your pen of choice. I have this guide sheet free for you to download on my website, so you can use this screen as a reference when you're choosing which guide sheet to start practicing with. Now I'm going to show you some other brush tip pens that you might already have around you. The first one is the Crayola broad edge marker. It has a different type of tips, but it still gives you that variation of thick and thin. And the second one is the Crayola super tips. It produced almost the same as the Crayola broad edge, but the pen itself is smaller. And the third one is the Crayola brush markers. It also gives you a very similar variation. And the fourth one is a bleak brush marker. The tip itself is a lot more flexible and sensitive. And then I have the Tombow dual brush marker. This is like a very popular brush pen. It's a much larger marker, so your writing will be a lot bigger. And then I have the Tombow Fudenosuke here, just for comparison. Just to show you the size variations. So for the Tombow Fudenosuke, you can write in normal size. But then with the Tombow brush pen, because the brush pen itself is a lot bigger, so your writing is going to be a lot bigger. So if you want to write a big posters, this will be a good pen to use. And then I have the Crayola broad edge marker again. It's also a very good choice if you want to write something very big. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribe. I'll see you next time with more tips and tricks on calligraphy and hand lettering. Bye!